Welcome back, everybody, to another Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath video commentary. We are on Tournament Airstrip, spawning on the left-hand side as the Cyan Blackhand. We are going to have KiMOsaBE, and on the right-hand side, as the Red Traveler 59, we are going to be seeing HiDrauLicK. So let's go ahead and jump right into this game. As noted, we are on Tournament Airstrip 1.02 Plus. This is one of the new maps created by Predator. We do have a single Tiberium spike down in the main base for each player, as well as a single Tiberium spike in the center of the map here. So as it looks, we have both players contending for this center Tiberium spike. We do have about seven buzzers out for HiDrauLicK, as well as his engineer, and then a handful of Confessor Cabal squads out for KiMOsaBE, as well as his engineer. And we are going to go ahead and see these buzzers facing off against the Confessor Cabal squads, many getting cleaned up before even making it to that second Confessor, and KiMOsaBE doing a great job of managing to split up those Confessors so that they were not taking too much damage too quickly, and actually HiDrauLicK managing to sneak his engineer in the chaos to capture that Tiberium spike. So putting his engineer to good use, not going to lose out on that $500, and KiMOsaBE going to go ahead and capture that spike back from HiDrauLicK. So it looks like we are just going to have fairly standard play out of HiDrauLicK on the right hand side of the map, not going for any fast leg disintegrators. And on the left hand side, we do have KiMOsaBE, and it appears as though he is going to be going for a similar setup, just going to be going for a standard economic play here. Nothing too crazy, not going to be any flame tank openings or anything like that, and it appears as though he is going to go ahead and go for maybe an additional power plant or perhaps an operations center prior to going for his expansion. And as we can see, HiDrauLicK opting to go for the additional power plant and expanding down to the south. So they will be expanding down to the south, where they do have a large green Tiberium field as their natural expansion, and then on to the smaller green Tiberium fields in the center of the map, where they will be fighting with one another for the economy in this area, with just a small amount of terrain division between them. And let's go ahead and see what we have going on. We actually do have an operations center down for KiMOsaBE prior to expansion, so we are likely going to be seeing some flame tanks, maybe some early scorpion tanks. We do have a single harvester trying to come up for HiDrauLicK to get some of this blue Tiberium, but is going to go ahead and get pushed back. But actually that bike being killed by the Seeker tank from HiDrauLicK, so good control from HiDrauLicK to go ahead and secure that. And we do see the flame tank out for KiMOsaBE. He has gone ahead and brought his MCV down to the south, going to be unpacking that now, and this buzzer squad being garrisoned into the Seeker, or rather combined with the Seeker, to allow it to clear out that garrison without being picked off prior to getting there. So good job out of HiDrauLicK to go ahead and try to gain some of this map control in the early game, going for a large number of Seekers early on, and is going to be able to deal with these bikes and any early harassment out of KiMOsaBE. Let's go ahead and see where that flame tank ended up. I do not see it anywhere. Actually, it has already made its way to HiDrauLick's main base. Is actually going to be taking just a quick shot at that harvester, but he's going to go ahead and rally to the refinery, managing to bring it down to about 2/3 health. And we are actually going to see the Seeker tanks rallying back to defeat this flame tank, and it is going to be a close call. And actually HiDrauLicK coming through with a great save by building blocking KiMOsaBE's flame tank out with a reactor and a portal, and actually going to be queuing an assimilator there to save a extractor that had maybe only a single % health left. And actually one more flame tank for KiMOsaBE, going to be rallying into the natural expansion of HiDrauLicK and managing to snipe down that refinery prior to the assimilator managing to make its way in to repair it. So good control out of KiMOsaBE to go ahead and snipe down a refinery where he could, so putting those flame tanks to good use. The one in the north could have done a bit more damage for my liking, but all the same did force a assimilator out from HiDrauLicK to deal with that. And actually another harvester out for HiDrauLicK to go ahead and capture some more of this blue Tiberium. This one is likely not going to make it away, as there are two bikes as well as a scorpion tank here just pounding away on it. And yes, that is going to go ahead and get cleaned up. We do still see this single Confessor Cabal squad that was garrisoned in the control tower here on the airstrip still managing to survive, and going to be taking a fair chunk out of this. Seeker may actually go ahead and snipe down the Seeker tank. We're going to have to see if HiDrauLicK is able to pull that away. It looks like he is going to go ahead and pull that back and going to go ahead and snipe down that bike in the north, but actually going to be losing a Seeker tank to just a couple of Confessor Cabals. So not a good thing for HiDrauLicK, as those Seeker tanks are not cheap. But we do see that assimilator being put to good use for HiDrauLicK, going to be capturing that Tiberium spike in the center. And as we can see, we are gonna have a War Factory down in the south for KiMOsaBE, as well as an additional Hand of Nod. Going to be drafting some Confessor Cabal squads out with the towers, and is likely going to be going for a heavy infantry push at this point, as he does have a secret shrine down, and is going to be getting the Confessor, or rather the Black Disciple upgrade. And let's go ahead and see what we have going on for HiDrauLicK. It looks like he is going to be going for infantry as well, but a different type, as he will be going for the fast leg disintegrators. So that is going to give him a decent amount of map control. Good way to defend off against flame tanks and the bike harassment. And once again, HiDrauLicK going for the blue Tiberium. So HiDrauLicK being very eco-centric this game, looking to get his blue Tib back, but losing another harvester to the bikes there. Not going to be good for HiDrauLicK. So that is 2 full blue Tiberium loads, as well as 2 harvesters that he has lost out on, and that is lost economy for him. We do see a Scorpion tank being caught out of the mix here, is going to go ahead and get away anyways, and it looks like KiMOsaBE has a large amount of forces here, of mixed forces, Confessor Cabal squads, rocket squads, and Scorpion tanks, all going to be pushing forward onto HiDrauLiCK's natural expansion, and HiDrauLicK is going to be responding in kind with the fast leg disintegrators. He is going to be rallying his Seeker army down to the south as well, and going to be dropping down the Buzzer Hives on the front lines. The Buzzer Hives are going to be a great way to deal with this infantry, as they can just continually spam out buzzers at no additional cost to HiDrauLicK, so going to be a good way to defend off against that. We do have a large number of fast leg disintegrators down in the south, as well as another flame tank out in the north for KiMOsaBE, going to be likely able to snipe down this refinery from HiDrauLicK. Yes, and we do have a large number of bikes out as well, so we have a large number of engagements going on at the moment. The Scorpion tanks down in the south in in HiDrauLiCK's natural expansion, as well as HiDrauLicK being in the natural expansion of KiMOsaBE, likely going to be able to take out that tech lab. And yes, he is going to go ahead and secure the kill on the tech lab. We do see the flame tank managing to get picked up by the Seeker tanks and the disintegrators, and the Scorpion tanks are still rolling around, are going to be forced to drive back over the disintegrators, and are going to be blown up in kind. So we do see a bit of a Mechapede transition out for HiDrauLicK, perhaps just to get a little bit more map control in this game, as KiMOsaBE does have the brute force advantage with the infantry, and is going to be contending with, once again, with the Buzzer Hives. As we can see, he is just slowly inching his way forward, but now that we do have the reactors going down on the front lines for HiDrauLicK, he is going to be able to defend that off. We do just have some infantry stepping on some Tiberium, but a large number of bikes going to be down here to deal with the economy of HiDrauLicK. So HiDrauLicK, taking a decent amount of damage, actually manages to phase field these harvesters, so they are going to be able to stay working and alive, but are not going to be taking any damage from these bikes. And a temper wormhole going down on the top of these bikes are going to allow these disintegrators to move into position to deal with them, and the disintegrators are going to be able to have a field day once they get into range, as these bikes simply do not have the speed advantage that they normally would have. And we do see a select number of bikes managing to rally their way out of that, but the Seeker army is going to be rallied down to deal with this infantry force out of KiMOsaBE, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. We do have the Mechapedes out for HiDrauLicK, going to be rallying to the main base of KiMOsaBE, and it appears as though we do have dual MCV out for KiMOsaBE, so we may see some obelisks or perhaps just dual shredder turret spam from him to deal with this. And these infantry have made their way down in the bottom right hand corner. It appears as though a single gunwalker is going to go ahead and give chase, but KiMOsaBE will likely be dealing with that pretty shortly, and we do see one of the Mechapedes getting sniped down by that force there. So good control out of KiMOsaBE to go ahead and pick up the kills where he can. But once again, KiMOsaBE just going with the heavy infantry force that the Black Hand do offer, and HiDrauLicK just doing a fair amount of damage in KiMOsaBE's main base, and there's just simply nothing here to deal with it. We do see a couple of buggies rocking up to the cause at this point, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. They may have the EMP coil upgrades. They do not, and so they're not going to be able to slow down these Mechapedes at all. One Obelisk does go down at the back of KiMOsaBE's main field, but is actually not going to be able to pick up a kill on the Mechapedes, only sniping down a single segment. And we do see the Disintegrator is going to be able to get some free shots off on these Confessor Cabal squads. That's not going to be good out of KiMOsaBE, as he is going to be losing forces that he could easily deal with, and is going to be dealing with that now as he turns around and just simply evaporates those forces. And it looks like the drone ship is going to go ahead and push forward, but I don't know if that's going to be a good idea, as there is a large number of militant rocket squads here to deal with it, as well as some TIB core bikes. It looks like there is the TIB core upgrade done for KiMOsaBE, and so he is going to be dealing a fair bit of damage with all of his rockets as far as infantry and attack bikes are concerned. And we can see the Mechapedes from HiDrauLicK still rocking around the center of the map here. And it appears as though KiMOsaBE has managed to go ahead and recapture this Tiberium spike. I'm not quite sure when he did that, dropping 2 obelisks on the front lines to defend his new expansion, but actually not managing to pick up any kills on the Mechapedes. And as we can see, it appears as though KiMOsaBE rather has gone ahead and tried to force fire the heads of these Mechapedes, but is simply not going to be able to do it. And actually, we do have the Raider Buggy EMP upgrade coming down from KiMOsaBE, and I don't know if that was just a bug or what the deal was, but I'm pretty sure I saw an EMP blast, but there was nothing actually EMP'd. And we do see triple obelisks on the front lines. I'm not quite sure why KiMOsaBE has dropped them all there, perhaps just to force HiDrauLicK to attack that frontal base in order to gather some more economy. And KiMOsaBE being smart here, bringing some forces up to the blue Tiberium, realizing that he's starving HiDrauLicK out of his next expansion, but HiDrauLicK does not seem to care. He is going to go ahead and bring his Mechapedes into KiMOsaBE's main base, but it appears as though KiMOsaBE is ready to drop yet another obelisk, and let's see what he goes ahead and does. He does lose 1 Mechapede to the attacking bikes, and we do see these 2 Mechapedes getting away, so not being very effective with the obelisks, but the obelisks are actually still going to only be taking out some segments of these Mechapedes, the attack bikes rather being far more advantageous in those situations. And we do see some Devastator warships out from HiDrauLicK to deal with these frontline base defenses, and KiMOsaBE being forced to sell up all 3 of those obelisks on the front lines, as he was simply going to lose them otherwise. So good transition out of HiDrauLicK to go ahead and go for the Devastator warships in that situation, and we'll likely end up seeing a Traveler engine upgrade out of him. We do see an EMP going off on the drone platform just prior to it being able to drop off any type of base defenses, and we do see a large army attacking in the north. We do have the attack bikes down in the south, kind of in the middle of HiDrauLikk's bases here, and are going to be coming back up to clean up this main. And HiDrauLicK is likely going to be losing this main base, as there's an infantry force attacking from the north, and he does have attack bikes attacking from the south. So yes, he is going to go ahead and sell that up completely. And we do see once again still a large number of Devastator warships out for HiDrauLicK, going to be attacking this base of KiMOsaBE. Really needs to get in here and get an economy established on this greenfield here, but going to be seeing some purifiers out from KiMOsaBE. I don't know if that's necessarily what he really wants to be going for in this situation, as the Devastator warships are going to be able to deal a fair bit of damage to those, but the purifier paying for itself by dropping 3 of the harvesters of HiDrauLicK that managed to sneak their way over to try to capture some of that Tiberium. And we do see some SAM turrets being thrown down on the front lines for KiMOsaBE, not actually managing to snipe down any of the Devastator warships, maybe 1 or 2, I'm not quite sure, but they are all heavily damaged and going to force HiDrauLicK to fall back and regroup here. We do have a couple of bikes that managed to sneak into the back of HiDrauLikk's base, and once again the attack bikes and infantry force from the north are going to be attacking down south. We do see some shock troopers out for HiDrauLicK. I believe that was just from a sold off structure, perhaps his tech center, and is likely just going to be spamming disintegrators at this point to deal with the bike buggy out of KiMOsaBE. So KiMOsaBE looking extremely strong at this point, as he is rocking dual War Factory bike buggy spam at this point, and has completely cleaned up one of the third fields, and is going to be going for a 4th here, and actually dropping a crane as well. So that is going to be actually the only building queue that KiMOsaBE has. He has gone ahead and sold up both of his MCVs and is just going heavy on the, I apologize, he did not sell up both of his MCVs. He has managed to establish economy in the north as well. So once again, we are going to see the bikes attacking these Devastator warships, going to be cleaning up the remainder, actually one remaining Devastator warship, going to be raining some death down onto these Confessor Cabal squads in the south for HiDrauLicK, and going to be seeing some flame tanks out from KiMOsaBE. A good choice, as he's going to be able to get in here and do a lot of damage to the remaining infrastructure of HiDrauLicK. HiDrauLicK is left in a very difficult situation here, as he really has to defend on a ton of different fronts. He has attack bikes in the north, he has some flame tanks in the middle of his base, he has base defenses up around his expansion, and HiDrauLicK is going to go ahead and call the GG. So great game out of both KiMOsaBE and HiDrauLicK in this game. And as we can see, this was a fairly short game, only going to about the 15-minute and 50-second mark, so just under 16 minutes, a little bit less than a standard game, I guess. And as we can see, KiMOsaBE coming through with an overwhelming advantage in terms of economy over the course of nearly the entire game. And if HiDrauLicK would have been able to grab some of that blue Tiberium in the early game, this may have been an entirely different outcome, but good control out of KiMOsaBE, denying that capture of the blue Tiberium and just continually forcing units down the throat of HiDrauLicK. So as we can see, the units tab not being all that effective in terms of showing us what happened, but the resources tab surely enough shows us who came through with the massive victory here. So KiMOsaBE, great game, and I appreciate you guys all taking a look at this game. I am taking a bit of a different approach with this cast, so please let me know what you guys think. Also, give me some comments on that starboard. Let me know if it's kind of too gaudy or if it's right on par with what you guys were hoping to see. I'm trying to make this a little bit more streamlined so we can make these videos a little bit better. So, like I said, please let me know, and I will see you all next time. He did manage to snipe down 3 of the Storm Riders, which is going to be a good pickup for him. So that EMP control center going to be paying for itself in that situation, and it appears that